welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to support my daily Eternal Magic offerings while getting amazing perks like the BoshNRoll Discord community, have me play your deck on the channel, or listen sideboard guides before tournaments, check out the Patreon or YouTube membership program. This channel is possible because of these amazing sponsors. Check them out, all their links are in the video description. As always, thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic.
Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today I'm playing Legacy at the request of Patreon subscriber John, and this is BUG Beans, the deck designed and continued to be worked on by Pokemoki. If you've been following the channel a while, this deck should be no surprise to you. It's what I played at Eternal Weekend last year. It's what I won the Legacy Cup in Chicago with earlier this year. It's a deck I like a lot. However, this deck was unplayable in the era of Grief Scam Reanimator. And while Blue-Black Reanimator is still the best deck, it's not quite as fast as it was with Grief Scam. The appeal of this deck is that it has a wide variety of cards your opponent has to think about. Things like 1 Thoughtseize, 3 Days, 1 Witherbloom Command, 2 Frogs, 1 Strix, 1 Edict, 1 Bowmaster, 2 Tamiyo, 2 Nile Spellbomb. This is hard to pin a plan down because the cards are so different. And having so many options means that you get to be kind of an aggressive deck versus bigger decks. Like, you do have Bowmasters, Frogs. You could try to accelerate out a Murktide to apply pressure early. You could play Protect the Queen on Tamiyo and just protect her for a while, then draw half your deck. And that usually results in a win. And then if you're against an aggressive or combo deck, you have the Up the Beanstalk plan, where once this resolves, many of your cards are worth 2 cards when you cast them, or more in the case of something like Lorien Revealed, and you can really just out-muscle decks that get ahead early. Up the Beanstalk is the type of card that can let you do something like Murderous Cut in Atraxa with the look at cards trigger on the stack. Then your opponent gets a handful of cards, but their Atraxa is gone, so you can keep up with the cards that you're getting off of your Beanstalk. Concerns I have about this deck: 1, the removal isn't white, which means if we're killing something like Atraxa or Archon of Cruelty, it's with Murderous Cut, it's with Shuldred's Edict, maybe we're blocking with Baleful Strix, but that will be in the graveyard for them to reanimate again. This deck doesn't have an Insano mode of its own. The best deck in the format can effectively win on turn 2 with Force of Will backup, Entomb, Reanimate, Force of Will. The decks that keep up with it are decks with Ancient Tomb that are jumping way forward on mana, some of them Ancient Tomb and Spirit Guides and Chrome Mox, and that's how they're keeping up. This is an extremely fair deck. But if we survive those first 3 turns, I think this deck has the tools to be favored versus anything. One of the matchups we were most scared of last year at Eternal Weekend was Boros Initiative, which has mostly left the format because it sucks to get your creature reanimated out of those decks. But Red Stompy is still at the top of the metagame, and that's something we got to respect here. This is a deck that rewards knowing what every deck in the format's doing. It rewards knowing what your outs are, even if it's a 1 or 2 of in the deck. It rewards knowing your role in every single matchup. And I haven't played it in a couple months now, but let's see if I can give it a good showing. This is BUG Beans. I'm going in. This video is brought to you by Manscaped, the global men's lifestyle brand that's revolutionizing men's grooming. With the holiday season coming up fast, it's the perfect time to step up your grooming game with the Beard and Balls bundle. This deal has you covered from head to South Pole. The Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is a powerhouse packed with features designed for the ultimate grooming experience. With 2 interchangeable skin-safe blades, you can have the precision of a trimmer or the smoothness of a foil shave. With 3 different comb options, you have complete control of your look, from a tight 1.4mm trim to a ferocious 12mm mane. The foil blade gently glides over skin, capturing even the finest hairs for a flawless bare look that's sure to impress this holiday season. And it's waterproof. Build it into your shower routine so you're never caught looking scruffy. With features like constant RPM and a travel lock, the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is perfect for a reliable performance on your holiday getaway. The Beard Hedger is perfect for sculpting your facial hair this holiday season. The titanium-coated stainless steel T-blade comes with 20 different length options, selected easily with the zoom wheel, to give you a neat trim or a sculpted masterpiece. If my trim looks clean right now, that was the hedger. Just like the lawnmower, the Beard Hedger is waterproof, wireless, and runs for up to 60 minutes on a single charge. The Beard and Balls bundle will keep you clean from top to tail, level up your grooming game, or give the perfect gift to someone special. Bundle and save 20% off plus free international shipping with code BoshNRoll at manscaped.com. That's 20% off plus free shipping with code BoshNRoll at manscaped.com. I'm on the draw in round 1. I have a hand that the mana's a little awkward, but Lorien Revealed does a lot of work here. I'm going to try it. As far as tech lands, there is 3 Wastelands, 1 Hedge Maze, 1 Mystic Sanctuary in this list. The rest are just lands that tap for mana. Opponent's on 6. Basic Island Tamiyo. Okay, that's a pretty early Tamiyo. A little worried about that, but at least I didn't get entombed. Okay. This lets me take a peek at their hand with Thoughtseize right away, if that's something I want to do. I think it is. Thoughtseize on the slow is not very good versus Tamiyo, but if this stops them from brainstorming and getting a Planeswalker immediately, it's pretty good. Commandeer double Wasteland. What the hell is going on over there? Oh no. Well, that double Wasteland sucks every ass, but I'm going to take Ponder and then probably lose. That's weird. Oh, is this also some sort of weird Beanstalk deck? Who does this? The Wastelands mean that they are not going to come up with mana to crack their clues very quickly. But Bug Beans, the game plan is so long that that might not matter. They'll probably come up with it eventually. I'm leading on Wasteland here. If they Wasteland my Wasteland, I could cycle Lorien Revealed and then get a non-basic. If they just park Wasteland and play... Okay. We've got Prismatic Vista for another island. Is this some sort of mono-blue tempo deck? Like off-meta thing? I don't know what's going on right now. The Commandeer has me in shambles. They crack their clue. Gonna have to cycle Lorien Revealed. And I guess I just get basic island and try to have some stability in the game. Basic Swamp was a good find. If I could clear this Tamiyo, I will feel mostly okay. I'll Spellbomb Psychic Frog. Will Psychic Frog win me this game? That's really interesting. Okay, I am going to put Psychic Frog in my hand and see if I could flip the script on them and just have a better creature than them. Can't commandeer a creature. This Tamiyo's drawn 1 card so far with 2 more in the bank. It's been very good. There's the Wasteland. They're just zapping off on my Wasteland. I'm going to waste my own Wasteland. Yes, I'm serious, Magic Online. Don't ask me stupid questions. You don't destroy my Wasteland. I do. Cracked a clue. Okay, they are tapped out, which means my Daze beats a Force of Will here. And my top card is Nile Spellbomb. And they just flushed out the Wasteland, so I am going to shuffle. I'll get... Do I want Bayou or Underground Sea? It has to be black. I guess I'll take the Bayou. That turns on the possibility of Witherbloom Command. Force pitching Tamiyo. Daze your Force. If their hand is Commandeer 2 blue cards, they could go Hellbent to Commandeer the Daze. Frog's in, though. Okay. Can we beat this Tamiyo now? Cracked a clue before combat. If they are a mono blue deck, what do I have to worry about? Something like Murktide Regent? Tamiyo didn't attack. That means they don't have an answer to Frog. My own Tamiyo. I'm going to attack with Frog first. It got in. Just deal some damage. Come on, Fatal Push. Ooh, up the Beanstalk. I definitely don't want that to get commandeered. That's really complicated. I'm going to play my own Tamiyo. Okay. Can we turn it around? They have cashed in all 3 clues this Tamiyo generated this game. They're up a ton of cards, but I have a Frog Resolve versus what appears to be mono blue. Ugh. Alright, well, there goes Tamiyo. Oh, wait, Witherbloom Command just kills that. That's sick. On the back, it's a Planeswalker? Hell yeah. Destroy target non-creature non-land permanent with mana value 2 or less. One of the big draws to Bug Beans last year at Eternal Weekend was that Witherbloom Command was insane. Bowmaster was everywhere, so the -3/-1 frequently killed something. Death and Taxes was still a playable deck. This always kills 2 things against Death and Taxes. Beanstalk mirrors were everywhere. And that's not really what the metagame looks like right now. Delver of Secrets, oh my god. I can hit 2 things with Witherbloom Command after all. We know they've got that Commandeer over there. I think I just attack first. Attack Tamiyo. They're not going to block. They might block if I attack Tamiyo. Should I just jump this? I'm going to attack Tamiyo, and I am going to jump the Frog. If my spells resolve, I didn't need to do this, but I want to draw the card off Frog first to know if my spells are going to resolve. Discard Hedge Maze. Nile Spellbomb might have text if they're a Murktide deck. Yeah, I'm going to discard Hedge Maze here. I could discard a lot of cards that just kill Tameo. I don't think that's how I want to do this, though. Just the one. Come on, Daze or Force of Will. Tropical Island, not what I wanted. Okay, I will try this Witherbloom command. -3, -1, kill a thing. If they commandeer this, they don't get to change the modes, so my creatures don't die. They can kill my clue token. So it'd be a gnarly one to resolve, though. Commandeer, pitched, counterspell, and Delver. Okay, you have a Witherbloom command now. Maybe I'm just supposed to cast Nile Spellbomb first and see if they want to commandeer that. But then I'm open to Daze, which is a card it seems likely they have. Delver did not flip. Now I have the choice of firing the Spellbomb to turn off the potential of Murktide. I could also Spellbomb if they minus Tameo, but then Tameo's dead. Okay, they just went for it. I will oblige. If they feel like they need to delete their Planeswalker to ponder here, that's worth a card to me. Okay, cool. Wow. Didn't think we were winning that one for a while, but off we go. Carpet of Flowers seems sick. Veil of Summer seems sick. Bowmaster. Witherbloom Command, they do have Delvers and Tameos. That's really interesting. Fatal Push, we definitely saw Delvers in addition to the Tameo. Nile Spellbomb is good against Tameo and Murktide, but I don't know that I need a bunch of them. I don't think I want Force of Will here either, though Daze might be a little unreliable on the draw. I could also turn Wasteland into Basic Island just to up my colored sources, because it seems like wasting them is not a thing. I could see arguments for Dismember. I will entertain them. I'll cut a Daze for a Dismember. They could have Harbinger of the Seas, which is a card I don't really want in play. Okay. Here I am again with a hand that's soft to Wasteland, but welcome to the deck. If I resolve this Carpet, I never care about mana again. Murktide. I'm just going to push now. If they have Daze, it works anytime. If they have Force of Negation, it works now, but if they untap, it turns on Spell Pierce, Fluster Storm, all that. Brainstorm. I'd strongly prefer not to get Wastelanded here. Oh, they had the Brainstorm, played around it. Prismatic Vista is not Wasteland. Come on, green source. Tameo, alright. Wasteland, kind of a blank, but it does play around Daze and get my own Tameo in. They fetched a snow-covered island in the end step. Different than the island they already had, and they have a Dismember. That resolves. I have my other Tameo in hand. This is a spot where if they shove Harbinger of the Seas, things might get dicey. Wasteland is the same thing. Oh, back to basics. Is that worse? No, it is better. Because now I could draw a Greed Source and not care about that. If it was Harbinger, a Greed Source doesn't save me. Okay, we're playing draw go for a while. If I hit the green and Carpet resolves, I'm fine. Wasteland. Waste my Wasteland? Yeah. Do I want to waste their Wasteland? That might fuel a Murktide. I think them having fewer permanents is probably better, on average. Still looking for a Greed Source. Basic Island. You don't say. Tameo, get in. Win this game for me. You're on the solo squad. Counterspell. Okay. I would prefer Tameo Counterspell than Carpet. There is a basic Swamp in my deck. Force of Will. That helps get the Carpet down when green shows up. I have a whole plan here. I just need my deck to produce a green source. They did not shuffle Ponder. They did not cast Murktide. Okay. That is not a green source. I could play Baleful Strix here. I could Thoughtseize them here. And Baleful Strix doesn't seem bad. That answers the Murktide that I keep being worried about. Yeah, I'll just commit a Strix here. It's another look for the green source. Trigger. Green card. Silent Hall Creeper, oh no. Can't be blocked. When it deals combat damage to a player, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Put 2 counters on this, draw a card. Becomes a copy of another target creature you control. Alright. Well, that's going to get in for some damage. Orcish Bowmaster. I would have preferred that to Baleful Strix, but it wasn't here when I made the decision. That probably should have attacked. Can't block. Okay, are they going to take the card or the damage first? How are they seeing this game rolling out? I would take the card first, but I don't know their hand. Okay, they're going for the damage. Oh my goodness. Let me play. This is everything. If they win this counter war, I'm probably losing. If I win this counter war, I probably win on the spot. Force pitching Sync. Force pitching Murktide. If they had counterspell, they wouldn't have let on Force, but they might have another Force. Oh, they did have another Force. Yikes. Okay, I mean, they're hellbent. And my deck does still have a basic swamp in it. Okay, off we go. Back to work. They're going to draw the card this time. So I guess if you just don't have another creature when this last ability resolves, it's just an unblockable 3/3 forever. Ondar. Find that swamp. We found that swamp. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Swamp. Thoughtseize you. Let's get a look. What are you doing over there? Daze. Okay. You got it. In for my 1. I have Shieldred's Edict to fight over this Hall Creeper next turn. Murderous Cut is coming shortly after that. I get 4 more draw steps this turn if I don't successfully kill this thing. I get multiple bullets at it. Strix attack. I'm going to pass into their upkeep and try to act there. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. Wow, it's dead. And Murderous Cut's coming next, which means I'm not worried about Murktide either. I could kill that right up front. Stand still, you nasty. Okay. Well, they're going to get a reload. But I'm cashing this in. I don't play under standstill, that's for sure. That resolved, that's huge. Okay. Now I feel like I'm ahead for the first time. And stuff could certainly happen, but my next removal spell's lined up. If they play another standstill, they're going to take 1,000,000. I'll just crack it and bash their head. The Creeper. Drawing cards is a huge liability right now, which is kind of their deck's whole thing. Another basic island, you don't say. Ponder. I also have a one-shot at Veil of Summer here. I could get Tropical Island just to make sure something important happens. I don't want Beanstalk. I might want Dismember. And that Misty Rainforest is okay too. Alright, I'm not going to shuffle. This can block, it just can't be blocked. I'm going to leave Bowmaster home. I'm going to Dismember this thing in combat. They can't Brainstorm looking for an answer to save it. If they have a counterspell, I could decide whether I just let this happen or use my Veil of Summer, my one time. Ooh, Dismember. Well, this doesn't save this. It's Stifle and Standstill, now my Bowmaster dies. And Veil of Summer does not stop it. Okay. Well, got me with the Commandeer. Again. Goodbye, Orcish Bowmaster. I love you. Okay. Well, they have a 3/3 again if they want it. I'm going to fetch my basic. I don't want Misty Rainforest anymore. If I ever did. We also just saw a Stifle leave their deck. Fetch in my upkeep. That does take a turn off the clock, but it gives me a chance to draw good cards. Mystic Sanctuary does work here. It just only works once. I'll get the basic, it's fine. Ponder. Okay. Have a look. Fatal Push, Lorien revealed Misty Rainforest. I like the Fatal Push. That gives me a lower cost swing at this thing. And I can still answer a Murktide with the cut. Pushing in their upkeep. Emergency B-Storm. We did it. Delver of Secrets. I could defeat that with my creatures. Tamio's a little worse. And they did just set up the top card of their deck, so Delver is likely to flip. How do I pace this out now? If I Murderous Cut the Tamio, attack for 2, they go to 3, they get me to 3, I get them to 1, then I die. So I can kill 2 things here, because the Mystic Sanctuary is in my deck. Am I worried about Tamio's cards is the question. I could also just attack with Baleful Strix. That doesn't change the damage race though, but they will have to reveal for Delver and then I can make informed choices. I'm going to attack with both, because the Orc army is not helping me on defense anyway. And if they suspect something like Witherbloom Command, or just give them the opportunity to make a mistake there. Okay, let's go to your turn, see what Delver reveals. It did not reveal. Interesting. Land is what they have. Okay, in that case, I'm going to kill Tamio now before it draws a card. I can take 1 from Delver, but they're not winning this race. I can also get a removal spell to the top of my deck, if I feel like I even need to do that, which I don't. If Delver flips next turn, I'm effectively at 1 because I'd have to fetch. Okay, I will just bank the removal spell here. Mystic Sanctuary, get back, Fatal Push. Maybe that should have been cut in case they get Murktide, but Strix could beat Murktide. They're drawing wild here. Wow, they don't even want to take their last draw step. That was nice. That was a full showcase of the flexibility of Bug Beans. Just missed my land drop for like 3 turns game 1, got locked under back to basics on turn 3 game 2, and still just made it happen. That was fun. On to the next one. What if the market you used to buy and sell TCG cards was the entire world? That's possible with cardtrader.com, the home of a global marketplace connecting buyers and sellers worldwide and creating unmatched variety in games and products. Don't worry about international shipping with cardtrader.com's CardTrader Zero service. CardTrader functions as your personal P.O. box, collecting orders from sellers worldwide to send you one affordable package. Shop CardTrader's global marketplace and use code BoshNRoll for 5% off your first order. I'm on the play in round 2 with a hand that is obviously missing some spells, but this is Beanstalk, baby. If this is any sort of fair matchup, I'm totally comfortable with a hand like this. And if it's an unfair matchup, I'm dead. They got me. But my deck's full of cards like Thoughtseize and Force of Will that can make this respectable. I'm going to keep the Spellbomb just in case they are Reanimator. If they go like blue to Delta Pass on their turn, I'll just play the Spellbomb instead of Beanstalk. Underground Sea qualifies. Okay, Verdant Catacombs, Nile Spellbomb. That resolved. That's a relief. And then they didn't do anything with the Underground Sea. It could be Doomsday Storm that was never going to use it. Oh no, they got me. It's Esper Stoneblade. Psychic Frog. Tough crowd. Okay. I am just going to draw a card off Spellbomb right now. This is an important time to find something useful. If this is Max Dorshan's Esper list, there is Pre-War Formal Wear and Snapcaster Mage in the deck. But I'd still rather Fatal Push the Frog before I worry about a future problem that isn't manifested yet. This is worth a force. This will pay for itself over time, I believe. All right, Fatal Push off the top. Ooh, my own frog. Well, we're behind on frog gaming, but I do have an engine resolved that could keep up with frog, potentially. The frog connects. If they stick something like Teferi here, that's going to be so shitty. What do you need that 3rd mana for? Chill. Stop. Stop. Oh, God. Well, this game's probably over. That was too many spells. I needed like 1 turn to breathe here. I guess if I just resolve a sorcery speed removal spell, this board state isn't untenable yet. But I do have a lot of bad cards in my deck now. That's one of them. I'll cast the frog. It's going to get bounced, but I'll cast it. Mystic Sanctuary's on. It only gets Force of Will right now, which is not a good card. Yeah, the frog is bounced. The frog's good for 2 cards so far. Can I keep up with this? Or can I catch up with it? I'm not keeping up with it. I might be able to catch up to it, though. This looks like a prismatic ending. Yep, there it is. And that was still a 2-for-1. If I draw a good spell now, and their hand somehow doesn't beat Frog, of course I draw Murderous Cut right after it matters. Psychic Frog. Stern Scolding in the main. That's gross. Okay, Murderous Cut that thing now. Alright, we're back to stability. Whoop, there goes Gravity. Still behind against the Teferi, but I'm not bleeding out to Frog anymore. Another Frog. The Mystic Sanctuary is coming in clutch here. Sanctuary, get back the cut. It's the only option. Okay. Handled. This is a game where drawing Beanstalk and getting another Beanstalk and get something chaining together could actually still stabilize, despite how far behind we were for the first few turns. Edict. Am I more worried about Tamiyo or Teferi? I actually think it's Tamiyo. If they get Brainstorm in response, this fizzles. I just hope they don't have that. Fuck. Okay, I can't win this game anymore. It's weird they didn't play the Brainstorm. I guess if they were planning around exactly that situation, or if they think getting a clue every turn is better than pushing their advantage with something like Psychic Frog or Stoneforge Mystic. Okay, that was tough. Harbinger of the Seas actually seems solid here. I don't like Force of Will in fair matchups. This doesn't look like a matchup where I need Nile Spellbomb. Carpet, Veil, Bowmaster, Dismember are all cards I could entertain. Pernicious Deed doesn't seem bad either. I'm on the play. I kind of like Daze. I can leave one force in just as a little extra. But the pushes Thoughtseize force is really only for Teferi. I don't think I want Deed. I don't think I have room for it. I don't think I need Dismember. Wasteland is good for the same reasons Harbinger is. Strix might not be important here. No, they have frogs. Strix is important. Never mind, never mind. I didn't say that. I take it back. Do I want to go up a land? I could cut a different land, but Wasteland looks really good. Also, I'm a friggin' up the Beanstalk deck. Maybe Force of Will is just better than Daze. Okay, yeah, just reorienting to what I need to do as this deck specifically. Keep. I get to do stuff. Look at this. Tamiyo. Tamiyo. Tamiyo gaming all around. I didn't see a Daze out of their deck, but I wouldn't rule it out. I would rather Ponder first, but if this Fatal Push gets Dazed, that would be disappointing. I'm going to fetch Bayou, because I drew another way to fetch Basic Swamp if I draw a Harbinger. Or I guess I would need to fetch Underground Sea to do that, because that's a blue-blue spell. Alright, yeah. Push the Tamiyo, attack with mine, and then I'll cast Ponder and just look for some way to keep the game moving forward. Ideally Beanstalk, that would be great. Fatal Push and some lands. If they follow up with Frog, I actually do want this Fatal Push. Yeah, I'm not going to shuffle. They do appear to be primarily a creature deck, even though it sucks that I have to draw another land here. Basic mana all around. Okay, well, Harbinger doesn't look good anymore. I am going to attack with Tamiyo, see if they want to jump Frog into it. If they want to overcommit here, I'm happy to blow them out. They correctly didn't fall for that. Push the Frog. And I'm going to fetch for Tropical Island and draw with a clue. Beastorm. Alright, Tamiyo plus Murktide is live for next turn. Seems we both had the same idea. That is mostly fine. I can still cast all the spells I was going to cast this turn. Not that one. Right, Tamiyo get in. Brainstorm. Force of Will up the Beanstalk. And I'm going to put back Wasteland and Beanstalk. Those cards just aren't helpful right now. Plus Tamiyo, Delta, Murktide, and I'm just eating all the spells out of my graveyard. It's fine. Let's get it. It's going to be hard for them to cast Teferi with this Harbinger in play. They need to rip basic planes straight up. Narset Parter avails. I can just attack that. Yeah, this is not my fight. It's good to know about, though. They're chaining them together. They've got a plan. I am going to attack Narset. I'd like to cast Ponder and cash in some clues here. Ponder, if I find the basic swamp, we're in business. Another Force of Will and another blue card. Done. Don't shuffle. Do draw. Plus Tamiyo. This Harbinger is so embarrassing. We both had the same plan. One of us is wrong. Or we were both just trying to awareness test each other, and we both passed. Or we both failed. One or the other. But protecting the queen on Tamiyo is a plan. She is netting 1 loyalty per turn, even if Harbinger beats come through. Tundra. Ooh, they didn't play the second Narset. What does that mean? That means they have a spell. What is the spell? Are they representing Hardcast Force here? What's your plan? I can also Hardcast Force here. And I can attack for 7 to the face. Yeah, I'm just sending it. They're not winning a game where they don't cast spells, so that was a really interesting turn. It's like an end step removal spell or something. Snap Brainstorm. Do I care about this? I don't think so. This doesn't change the clock on Murktide Regent, which is what's really going on here. If I just hold these Force of Wills to make sure they don't resolve a white removal spell, I think that's where I want to be. Oh no, they found the basic planes. Now the game gets hard. I am going to cast Force of Will before pitching. Having more cards is generally better. This does turn on soft permission. Force pitching Narset. Force pitching Teferi. Or force on Teferi pitching my Harbinger. Okay, and we're back. Tamiyo could buy back Force of Will this turn, and then I just need to survive one more round. Tamiyo, get back Force of Will. This also grows Murktide, that's why I'm doing it pre-combat. Not that that changes the clock. But if they do get a Swords to Plowshares through, I want to gain as much life as possible. I will be boarding out these Harbingers immediately. And they probably will too. Psychic Frog. That cannot be my fight. If I force that and then they cast Swords to Plowshares, I lose, but this is just a chump blocker. in a situation where I'm pretty far ahead. Tamio's gone, that's fine. She did a great job this game. They put white in the pool, then changed their mind. End of turn, I am going to crack my clue. I will not be scared away. I have plenty of blue cards to pitch. Yeah, you can't get me like that. Forest pitching Strix. The cut. I'm going to ponder before I attack, because if I find the basic swamp, I just win right now. They're hellbent. My own Harbinger. I'm going to shuffle this. Mystic Sanctuary. It will come in untapped. You can't tell me it won't. Oh, they didn't block? Rather die? That must have been a misclick. You at least take the block and see if there's a white removal spell on top of the deck. Okay, Harbingers are bad. They're gone. Dismember. Do I get a Spellbomb back in? Do I get the 4th Force back in? Got some options here. Dismember's bad against Frog. It's good against Tamio. Snapcaster mostly doesn't matter. It's not a real creature. Dies to Bowmaster. I think I do want one Spellbomb in more than I want one Dismember in. Yeah, especially knowing they have Narsets on top of Teferis. The extra force looks good. Daze is likely to be good against a deck with this many 3s. But if Daze gets bad, it gets really bad. Okay, I'm not bringing in Daze. Big mana. Keep. This hand does basically everything I'd want. Flooded Strand from the opponent. Oh wow, that's good. Tamio, get in there. Apply the pressure. Tundra. That's wastable. Scolded my poor Tamio. They're passing with Marsh Flats up. A Frog, interesting. I could just Wasteland them. They are a deck full of 3-drops. Yeah, I'm gonna go mini cheese mode here. I don't generally recommend trying to cheese your opponent with Wasteland when you are Bug Beans, but knowing that their deck's full of 3s. Oh yeah, look at this. Just passing the turn? Nothing? You got nothing for me? All right, I'll get Tropical Island and play up the Beanstalk here. I know I have a Frog, but we've seen a bunch of white removal in their deck, and up the Beanstalk is the type of thing that gets paid immediately. Yeah, they had to force that pitching Harbinger. Cool. It was worth 2 cards, even if it didn't resolve. Undercity Sewers, Emergency Dig. Dumped a Plow, let's go. Murktide in hand. Ooh, Thoughtseize. Well, I got 2 big threats in my hand. They don't have access to white mana right now. I guess Murktide is only a 3/3 here. Frog is clearly the correct take. Deck full of good cards, let's draw one. Not so much. Carpet. Might as well invest that. Yes, make blue. I'm going to play around Daze rather than keep a card in my graveyard. Still not sure if they have it, but I can play around it, so I will. Okay, they drew the white source. I don't think they would have sandbagged that around Wasteland. That's berserk to play Magic like that. Okay, I'm not in danger from creatures, but they are a deck full of planeswalkers. If they go land Narset or land Teferi here, that will actually be pretty annoying. Psychic Frog. They've seen the Fatal Push in my hand. I'm going to get Hedge Maze for some selection. Always keep Ponder. Push this. They knew that was there. Carpet for blue. All right, Ponder. Find something good. Murderous Cut Wasteland. Wow. That Wasteland is really good, but Murderous Cut is really bad. Am I willing to take a turn off to try to screw them like this? I think so. Okay. Let's knock you off white again. I have to spend a turn fetching next turn, but hopefully that'll be worth the investment. Yeah, they just pass without doing anything. Mystic Sanctuary is live here for Ponder or Fatal Push. I'll probably just get Ponder. Use the velocity while I have it. Ponder from the opponent. Showing off. Did not shuffle. A Mystic Sanctuary. Let's cast Ponder. Carpet makes blue. Cast the Ponder. We're in the dregs now. Oh my god. The same decision. This is literally the same decision I made 1 turn ago. What's changed about the game since then? Nothing. Take out that Undercity Sewers. They did not shuffle when they could have, which means they probably saw 2 lands off the Ponder. Oh no. They just liked the spell, even if it didn't do anything. And my top card is Veil of Summer right now. I'm unlikely to want that. But if nothing's happening, I might just take it. Alright, I can't afford to draw Veil of Summer if they're actually hitting land drops. I'll get the basic swamp just in case they still have Harbinger in their deck. Maybe they do, right? They pitched one. Hey, I like that one. Okay, pass the turn. I'm going to be patient here. I have the advantage, but screw beats flood. If I get fast and loose here, I could blow it. This one I'm not going to wait on. Big Mercs. They need a Force of Will or a big removal spell on this. Stern Scolding's not going to cut it. Fetching in the end step. I suspect we'll see a white source here. They had the plow. Okay, there's Frog. I could cut that. I'm going to exile one Wasteland to play around Daze. Oh, they did have Force of Will. All right, pitching Stern Scolding. Look at that. Playing around it was right. Might not be rewarded. Oh, magic is easy. Discard or sacrifice a non-token creature. It's your choice. And they did not bank Double Force. Okay. I would not be surprised if their hand is some powerful 3-drops like Narset or Teferi at this point. Okay, please don't have Plow right now. If I could get this big creature into play, then I wouldn't mind Plow. Okay. Now even if they find Plow, I have a 4/4 in play. Brainstorm resolved. They haven't conceded yet, which means they have a plan. I mean, they have high life total. There's plenty of things they could do here. They did have Plow after the Brainstorm. Can my 4/4 carry? Polluted Delta. Not helpful. This could definitely fall apart if they just resolve Teferi this turn, bounce my Orc army, stabilize at 5 while I have nothing going on. It could still go the wrong way here. Whatever 3-drops I locked in their hand for as long as I did are now live. I really hope it's Narset and not Teferi. Oh, we got a game. Okay, here we go. Time to draw up the Beanstalk and chain them together and bury my opponent. Oh no. Oh no. This is where it comes crashing down. If they just plus Teferi and pass and hit some land drops, that's fine. If they add Frog or anything good to the board, Barrowgoyf's pretty good. Witherbloom Command. You are too late. Were you ever good? I don't think so. What does this do? Unfortunately, my opponent's at 4 and not 2, or else this would be good. This doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, there's no 2-turn line of set up Mystic Sanctuary and then buy it back. That is the thing you could do in this deck. You could waste your own Sanctuary to loop it if you have zillions of resources. Speaking of zillions of resources, really hope his Barrowgoyf miss. If they find a creature here, it's basically over. Snapcaster Mage and Tamiyo, multiple options. That's bad. But now we're in the position where we can think about how this game got here. There were the 2 turns I spent on wastelanding them instead of shuffling my Ponder, which maybe is bad, maybe is fine. Like these 3-drops just would have been deployed earlier than they are, and I haven't actually solved any problems that way. They have Snapcaster in their hand. Is there a counterspell that counters this in the graveyard? I don't see one. Oh, just Force of Will from the grip. That works. Okay. Yeah, I could have shuffled away those wastelands, but then I would have been facing down the Tarmogoyf and the Barrowgoyf, or the Tarmogoyf, the Teferigoyf. The Teferi and the Barrowgoyf sooner. But maybe I draw a threat that wins the game instead. Yeah, maybe I'm just supposed to shuffle those. They answered my early Beanstalk, which would have been my advantage. Okay, I drew another Fatal Push. We could try this again. There are some lands left. Witherbloom Command can defeat the Tamiyo if it's a Planeswalker, not if it's a creature. I wonder how reasonable decking them is as a plan. They have 19 cards left. They're currently attacking for 0. But the Snapcaster in hand can at least apply some sort of clock. Brainstorm, going straight for big flips. This is going to be a pretty important Witherbloom Command to resolve. Thoughts Ace off the top. Ooh, Ponder. Right, I'll make blue, and I'll cast Ponder. This could serve as effective bait. Force of Will is not helpful at all. Force, Brainstorm, Frog. Don't shuffle. Play the Frog. And I know they have Snap removal spell. Black, green. Target player mills 3. Destroy target thing. I'm going to mill them, because that's my win con right now. Wow, Force pitching Ponder. I guess, yeah, I mean, the Tamiyo is really important. So that does make sense. I wonder if they would have fought over the mill 3. Probably not. They have 18 cards in their deck. They're fine. And Snapcaster clears Frog. They didn't do it, though. Tamiyo bought back Force. I'm drawing Brainstorm for my turn. Teferi's on board. Could just bounce Frog. Yeah, all right. Yeah, they have this covered 100 different ways. The deck you plan is my best plan. I am going to cast this Brainstorm before they find one of their Narsets. These are good cards. I put back Force and Tameo. Up the Beanstalk. That'll probably flush out that Force they just picked up, unless they think that this doesn't matter, which is also reasonable, but I would sure like to have it. Frog. Tameo. I'm just spamming spells because if they spend Force of Will this turn, that means they're not Snap Plowing. Cracking a Clue token. 15 cards in the deck. Prismatic Ending. And knowing there's a blank Force of Will on top of the deck does not inspire confidence right now. A plus Tameo, which means I have to commit a discard to even deal damage. Oh, they tapped out of white to cast Ponder. Or no, they only had the one white source and they used it for ending. There's another one, okay. Am I just wrong? Have I lost track of a Snapcaster Mage? Ooh, that didn't fetch white either. Oh, there's a Plains in their graveyard. They must have milled that over from Barrogoyf. Plus the early Wastelands. They might be playing on just one white source right now. Powerful if true. There's a Narset. Found Brainstorm. Okay. So you're saying there's a chance. Brainstorm. 10 cards left in the deck. They've already made their land drop. Frog is going to connect here. It's happening. And I'm drawing a blank, which means I don't mind discarding it to Frog. And I think I'm actually going to attack Tameo because I don't want that one being able to pick up a Swords to Plowshares easily and just stabilize this. I want them to have to dig and cost cards out of their deck. Big draw. Oh, I can't draw. Narset. Right. Never mind. That one recently joined the party. Doesn't draw cards. Man, remember Narset? Remember when this is what Legacy was about? A simpler time. A beautiful time. Thoughtseize in their hand. You could cast that one. All right, yeeting. Yeah, they yeeted Teferi to put Frog in my hand. Now Thoughtseize actually matters. Can they win this game with 7 cards left, though? Fresh Teferi. They can Thoughtseize in my draw step now. That's even better. Okay, they're just going now. Who needs it? Psychic Frog. That can win the game. Removal spell? All right, Ponder. That doesn't work with Narset in play. I guess I'm just going to pass. I could Ponder just for card selection. I don't think I'm that desperate yet. They didn't use Tameo last turn. They forgot to do that. That's cool. So they do actually have to discard some number of cards pretty aggressively to Frog, because if they attack for 1 too many times, they will run out of cards before I run out of life points. All right, just 1 damage. 5 cards left in your deck. And they're still playing out lands. Those could have been damage. Beanstalk, let's go. Maybe they'll forget they have Narset and fight over this. They didn't forget. Okay, I think I am ready to emergency card select. Bowmaster is not very good. I'm going to shuffle. And I'll pass. I need them to mess up. If they just dump a bunch of cards to Frog and get super aggressive, they win. If they don't do that, I might still cheese this somehow. All right, here come the cards. Discarded a Tameo, discarded another Frog. In for 3. 3 cards left in the deck. Plus Tameo, plus Teferi. Okay. Force of Will, let's go. Okay, there's 2 cards left in their deck. If Frog hits me, there's 1. They need to discard at least to 6 power here. It looks like they figured it out, though. And 5 power is fine, because you could go to 6. Yeah, they're going to win this game with the Frog draw trigger with an empty library on the stack. That's so sick. Barrogoyf. Okay, yep. That's so cool. Perfect game of Magic. They used every single resource. They have 3 minutes on their clock. They have 0 cards in their deck. And they are getting away with it. Unfortunately, Frog doesn't have first strike. GG. On to the next round. That was awesome.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and everything else you'll see on this channel. There's multiple customizations so you can interact with your deck how you want. Views such as text, grid, or stacks. And groupings like type, subtype, color, color identity, even artist. The site offers light mode, dark mode, and so much more. However you want to see your deck, Moxfield can provide it for you. Follow my Moxfield to keep up with the channel and what I'm playing in paper. I'll see you there.
On the draw in round number 3, I'm going to keep I've got Force for unfair decks, Push for fair decks, and Nile Spellbomb for all kinds of decks. Flooded Strand. What do we got? Basic Island. Okay, we're just playing around Stifle. That's fair. Ooh, Tamiyo. I was just going to play Nile Spellbomb off drop, but Tamiyo is way better. Brainstorm in response. And we're in there. That makes me think this deck has Daze in it, if they're willing to brainstorm like that in response to a Tamiyo. Maybe it has Daze, but not removal. Because if you have removal in your deck, I would just go to my turn and brainstorm properly. But that was this hyper-aggressive brainstorm that didn't pan out. They drew the card, no upkeep shuffle or anything, and now another main phase brainstorm. These brainstorm looked at several of the same cards here. They did find a land. Let's find out what your other color is and what removal you play. Nomads. All right. That's fine. I could push that. This Nile Spellbomb also just heckin' sweet. Okay, so they are a Daze deck. Almost assuredly. Underground Sea. I'd rather push than play Nile Spellbomb here. And if they force this, I will force back pitching Murktide. Force pitching Nadu. There's another color in this deck. A whole color we haven't seen yet. If they have another force pitching Illusionist. Okay. Well, you're going to win this fight. I hope the last card in their hand is Illusionist and this Nile Spellbomb obliterates them. If they go land Nadu from here, then they just drew one of those two cards, because one card hand can't have land and Nadu in it, unless you're cheating. And my opponent doesn't seem like a cheater. Just from vibes. Swords to Plowshares, okay. Nomads versus nothing. Off we go. The 1/1 beats. I got a lot of ways in the deck to kill this. The Bowmaster, the Witherbloom Command, a lot of action. I'm also only worried about it if Nadu comes with it. I could just crack this clue and go slow. I'm going to do that. What's the rush? Yeah, that lets me just pad out my hand for cards to shuffle away with Brainstorm. I'm still holding up Spellbomb. I have a shuffle to go with this next turn. I could force a Nadu now. Just want to point out the effect that cheap interaction had on this game, because my opponent did have a force protected Cephalid Illusionist plus Nomad, and we were able to bully it. Ooh, okay. Brainstorm. What are the lands in this deck again before I cast Brainstorm? There's 2 Seas, 1 Trop, so I actually want to use the Sea to Brainstorm. Okay. Put back Sanctuary and Rainforest. Fetch for the other Underground Sea. Play up the Beanstalk. We're in there. Can we hit the land for the perfect turn? For the perfect turn? They're still playing around Stifle. Bug Beans has had Stifle in it in the past. They're not just losing their mind over there. Dump to Tundra. And I drew Ponder. Okay. That was a pretty good turn. And this is the first time Beanstalk is actually in play and running. Okay. Plays don't have Daze. Oh, you can have Daze now. Sweet. I think that's the first spell card drawn off up the Beanstalk in this league. I'll take it. A fetch land is a great draw here. Murder Scut's also a pretty good draw. Would I rather apply pressure or make sure I don't lose? I'm going to cast Ponder. I can apply pressure anytime. Now I can kind of do both. All right, fetch land rules. I'm going to Polluted Delta, Mystic Sanctuary back the Fatal Push, cast Murktide, which draws the Fatal Push, and then push this thing while I still have Daze protecting myself. Okay, they got 1 card in hand. I could Daze it to Teferi if there's even room in these lists for Teferi anymore. I'm not sure. Might be a flex slot. Might just be in decks. I have no idea. Cool. All right. That was a showcase of Bug Beans. Big fan of everything that just happened. Orcish Bowmaster looks good. Witherbloom Command does kill Shuko and Nomad. And Illusionist if they happen to run it out. Dismember is removal. Pernicious Deed is good against Nadu. Do I have this many cuts? I could see Daze. Like, my job is to make the game go long in this matchup, which means that it's my job to make Daze worse, but Daze helps me get to the point where the game is going long, so it's a little bit of a squeeze. But I think with all the spot removal I play, cutting the Dazes is fine. Up the Beanstalk could come out. This is a combo matchup, and you can play with fewer of them if you want to. Because like I said, you got to survive before that does anything. All of these cards help me survive. All of these cards help me do stuff. Maybe I don't need a second Witherbloom command in. I have the one already. And I'm bringing in a bunch of other removal. Yeah, I'll try this. There are builds of Nadu where Grafdigger's Cage is good. Maybe we're in one. It's good against the Cephalid half. It's bad against the Nadu half. I feel like I'm already good against the Cephalid half, though. I'm going to keep. Fatal Push is enough for me to feel comfortable that I will at least defend myself a little bit. Hedge Maze. I was going to fetch for that. I'll just play it. Up the Beanstalk. I will put this on top, even though it's a little early for that. This is a deck that could just win on the spot at 3 mana, which means I probably have to bank the Beanstalk for a little while, hold up Fatal Push for a turn, and then I could Beanstalk on turn 3. They do have to cast a Nomad this, or no, they don't. It's a 3 mana play. Never mind. They can win from any point at this point, once they get to turn 3 and play their 3rd land. Just gonna pass here. Maybe I'm supposed to play Delta instead of C, in case they just cast Nadu. I would like to push that in the end step. Kept their card on top with Archive. And Teferi jacks up my life here. Teferi always jacks up my life. Illusionist, that's in. Well, if they have protection, they win here. Okay, that died. Good news. Glad I didn't tap out. Cavern of Souls just hit the graveyard. That's good to know about. They also have Grand Abolisher. Lots of protection over there. I do need another removal spell here, though, or I suspect they're just going to send it again. Ponder. Save me. Psychic Frog, Brainstorm. Brainstorm is good. The Frog and Tameo are not. All right, I'm going to put back Frog, Tameo, take the Brainstorm. I'm going to do the rarely seen, but certainly correct here, fetch first. I'm doing this all now because Nile Spellbomb is a card I could draw. And we're seeing the fail case of Up the Beanstalk. I drew 2 of them here in a combo matchup where I might die here on turn 4 without ever time to play one, and that's after boarding one out. I did keep the first one, though. Maybe I should have identified that's not going to be part of this game. Saga. Okay. Maybe my Harbinger should be in. Look at this mana base. Are they going to send it? Yeah, they are. Okay. And then Ponder. Okay. That might have been a test send, because they do have to respect things like Fairy Macabre and Surgical Extraction. They don't know what I play here. I think if you're going to do this, if you keep this hand that's like double Nomad or Illusionist, double Illusionist Nomad, I think you are priced into going for it here. And it is going to work. I don't have my consigns either. I messed up. Well, maybe messed up is aggressive, but there was a lot of things I could have done in my sideboard differently than what I actually did. Oh, if they're playing around consign, if they assumed I played correctly, dangerous assumption. All right, yeah, we're just in combat all of a sudden. And I do have a huge play here if I get a turn. Okay. Tropical Island, Pernicious Deed. I hope this resolves. I feel like if they had Force in hand, they would have just gone for it. Sick. I'm going to bust this for 1. That kills Nomad and Urza Saga. Yeah, they could just mill down to a smaller number in response. Yeah, if this was for 2, it would kill the Narcomoebas and this wouldn't work. It seems like specifically Consign is the card they were worried about based on these play patterns. Okay, they stopped at some number, though. Okay, yeah, they just milled like 12 cards, and then that was good. All right, if there's another Nomad or a Shuko in the hand, they probably win this turn. I don't know what's going on right now. Okay. You were scared last turn. Are you scared now? Ponder. This whole game, I should have lost 2 turns ago. The only reason we're still playing is because Fairy Macabre is in the format because of Reanimator. A year ago, opponent would have just sent it 2 turns ago and their stuff resolved and not worried about a thing. The Dread Return is exposed now, which means that if they're gonna go for it ever, they might as well do it now, because I can Macabre the Dread Return and stuff their combo at any point. We're in combat, though. Moving to attacks. Illusionist getting a taste. And we're back to milling. There's an Archamoeba. They seem committed this time. Down to 4 cards in deck. Let's at least get a look at this deck this time. We've got Serenity. We know about Nomads, obviously. Serenity, Grand Abolisher. I saw an Orbs chant go by. That's right here. Thassa's Oracle. Dread Return. 3 creatures in play exactly. So their hand must be 2 Narcomoebas. That's awkward. Okay, you got it. It's fine. You could have done that. Okay. Different sideboard plan. Grafdigger's Cage consigned to memory. Do I want Harbingers? They do have basic lands, but do they have enough to make a plan out of it? I don't really believe in Witherbloom Command anymore. They've seen Pernicious Deed. I could cut another Beanstalk. Drawing 2 that game was really bad. I should have milled away the first one, I think. Nullrod turns off Shuko, but Nomad... They have more Nomads than they have Shukos. Seeing Grand Abolisher and Orum's Chant means that Consigned to Memory is something that's on their mind. They're aware that's a thing I could have. I could shave a Lorien Revealed. I'm boarding in other blue cards. I'm never going to cast this in the matchup. They're not going to attack my mana. Right, I think I talked myself into that. Force of Vigor could hit Shuko and Urza Saga. I have Wastelands for Saga already. Is there room for these Harbingers, and do I want them? I am on the play. If they get a single basic Plains, Harbinger doesn't matter. I'm not going to try to Harbinger them. Okay, keep this one. We got the old Nile Spellbomb start. That'll check one big box, at least. I have one of my 2 Beanstalks. Did that perfectly. If they have something like Prismatic Ending to clear the Nile Spellbomb, that's a plan. Out off Island. I'd love to see green this turn to get my Beanstalk in. Also, shout out Magic Online with their constant evolution of the display, putting the Theros enchantment frame on every enchantment. Even Urza Saga had it. Cool. Tropical Island. Up the Beanstalk. Worth a Force of Will, pitching Brainstorm. Okay, that's fine. Glad I didn't bring in the Harbingers. Look at this mana base. A Frog. With Veil of Summer Protection. Obviously, Veil doesn't stop white removal, but it does stop counterspells. It does stop Teferi from bouncing it. Right, they're fetching mana number 3. It is green. What do we got? Is it Teferi? Is it Nadu? A Veil of Summer in response to Teferi. Then Teferi resolves. Can't touch my Frog, though. Can't touch any of my stuff. And then I could discard a bunch of cards to kill Teferi. Okay, discard Hedge Maze for sure. I kind of want the Wasteland. I am going to discard Brainstorm. I have to get Teferi at least below 3, so it can't bounce my Frog. I don't have to kill it, though. I can just park Wasteland and Psychic Frog in play. Ponder. Force Fatal Push. I will collect these. And do I want to save this for Wasteland? No, I want to make sure they can't Nadu me next turn. At 3 mana, they can Illusionist combo, but I have the Spellbomb in play. At 4 mana, they can Nadu combo, which doesn't care about Spellbomb. They found a land, fetching 2 white sources. That's dangerous. Ending my larger Frog. Attack Teferi. I'm going to discard this Force. It's not useful, and I know I'm about to draw another one. And pass. I feel like I need this Fatal Push. I could have bombed them to kill Teferi, but then I don't have bomb anymore. A moment of truth. Do they have Nadu plus the other thing? They have another Teferi. That's really effective here. A powerful spell. This is why Cephalid Breakfast is so good. I was trying to protect versus their creature game 2, and they won with the graveyard combo. Now I have that covered. I should have tapped Tropical Island for this. I don't know why I thought I needed to tap Underground Sea. Hopefully I don't need to draw that card. Archive. Dumped an Urza Saga. That makes me think they're looking for a Nadu, Nomad, or a removal spell, because Saga is just such a good card. Well, there's the Nomad. They didn't slam Nadu, though. That's good news. Okay. I'm going to jump my Frog and attack Teferi. Attack Teferi, Time Raveler. They got me in the lock here, because if they have any removal spell, they got me on the hook for a card. I'll discard the Bayou. I think this is worth the risk. Oh, that's a relief. We did it. We beat the Teferi. I was worried. Okay, I don't think I have to Fatal Push this card right now. I can cast 2 removal spells, a Force of Will and Nile Spellbomb them next turn. I'd be impressed if they wriggle out of that. No attack with Nomad, okay. We're just passing back. I'm just going to attack with Frog, and I'm not going to jump it. If they want to lose their Nomad to stop me from drawing a card, that's a deal. Okay, sweet. It's a deal. I was willing to spend a card to kill that anyway. So that's like I didn't have to draw a card to replace my Fatal Push. Okay, that's why they were willing to do that. Makes sense. I'm going to make the same offer, though. Oh, maybe I'm not going to make the same offer. If I could just kill this thing, that's so much better. One here. Still holding up 2 removal spells, Force of Will, and Graveyard Hate. That's 4 answers to their 4 cards in hand. There's Lorien Revealed. There's a chance that ends up being a Lorien Revealed. Or at least a blue card for Force. I don't need another land right now. Nadu. I think I would prefer this not resolving at all, even though I do have 2 answers to it. And I guess it's a 2-for-1 anyway. Okay, Force Pitching Illusionist. That's fine. Nadu resolves. There is another Beanstalk in my deck, but I think I'd rather keep the fetch land. Yeah, I'm just going to cut this. They get at least 1 flip here. Flipped Grand Abolisher. Well, that one's a little nerve-wracking. Can't cast spells or activate artifacts or enchantments. If they have the whole combo ready, they can win next turn. They'd have to do it from pretty low resources. I'd love to find Thoughtseize this turn. Attack with my creatures. Now I do want a land or a blue card pretty desperately. Alright, I am Fatal Push flooded. Let's see how this works out. That Grand Abolisher is scary. The hand would have to be Abolisher, Nomad, Illusionist, Land. Those would have to be the 4 cards in the hand. Well, there's 2 of the 4 that we know about. I could bomb now, see if I draw a blue card. I think I'm going to do that. Bomb you, see if I draw a blue card. Nice. Alright, we got there. And I'm going to force first, so the Abolisher gets exiled as well, just in case that matters. Alright, sweet. Wow. That was a tight one. On to the next one. This video is partnered with Gold Sabertooth's Commander Pantheon Collection. This Kickstarter project features exclusive art on playmat shirts and stickers from a staple of the Magic and CEDH community. Printed on premium quality materials, these products are built to last so you can rep your favorite commander for years to come. Backing this Kickstarter gives you access to limited edition products and helps reach stretch goals for even more cool designs. Support this community artist by using the link in the video description or searching Gold Sabertooth on Kickstarter.com. On the play in round 4, I've got a Tamiyo Daze start. I'll keep this. It needs a green mana to really get going, but these 2 of Tamiyos, the number has felt right, and every game I start with Tamiyo feels awesome. Am I going to be a Tamiyo gamer at Eternal Weekend? Misty Rainforest. Lotus Petal. Uh-oh. Are we dead? Well, I'm going to daze that. Hope they don't daze me back. Oif! Tough. Okay. Well, that hurts. That also means Tamiyo can't attack. Sheoldred's Edict is a step in the right direction. What a crazy start. Opponent is in and ready to game. I guess the question is, do I block with Tamiyo? Are they going to discard 2 cards to not draw a card? I'm going to check them on that. I will block. Because if I draw a black source here, we're gaming. And they're down 2 cards. They might just choose to touch butts here, or they could push. Second frog in the graveyard. Third frog in the graveyard. Okay, that makes sense. Alright, deck, how about that black source? It would be real nice right now. Not what I wanted. I am going to wasteland them, though. Okay, their frog gets to act here. Consider. Oh, this is Doomsday. Oh, that's why the Lotus Petal's there. I don't know why I'm so surprised. Yeah, in my head, I just had a coaching session with someone who is playing a more turbo build of Dimir Reanimator. Like, it's more classic Reanimator, but it's still a Psychic Frog, and I was still in that headspace. But yeah, Doomsday is the deck that would play Lotus Petal and Psychic Frog in it. Okay, they missed their land. Black Source. Oh yeah. Cooking. Underground Sea or Bayou. I want Bayou because this Up the Beanstalk is part of my plan. That doesn't cast Murktide, but I don't think I need to do that just yet. They are also a Force of Will deck. Let's see if they got it here. They pretty much have to, but it would make sense based on their opening hand that they have one. And they've been up a card already. Yep, Force Pitching Tamiyo. Tough crowd. Am I about to get soloed by Psychic Frog? The no permanence flawless victory Psychic Frog? It could happen. Undercity Sewers found. That turns Daze back on. Kept a card on top. Ponder. Please find Fatal Push. None of the above. Shuffle. I found a land. I could bomb them and hope to find a Fatal Push. Or I could play Beanstalk and get something else going here. Every turn they have Frog is dangerous, and now that they have mana, if they just like Dark Ritual Doomsday, hit me with Frog, set up a pile, that might be game. Alright, I'll take my chances with Up the Beanstalk. Underground Sea, Beanstalk. Alright, pass. They have 5 cards in hand. They can just hit me for 8 here. They can make this a 2-turn clock. Another land. So those were both drawn in the last turn cycle. Ooh, that had to be a misclick. There's no reason not to attack with a frog, right? I suspect that was a misclick. What does it mean if it's not? There was just a card on the top of their deck they didn't want to be gone? Like they didn't want to draw? They're setting up. The last time someone didn't attack me with Psychic Frog is because they were setting up a Metamorphosis Fanatic. But my opponent doesn't know the top card of their deck, and I doubt they play that card. I think that was a misclick. Official diagnosis is misclick. Daze, not the worst card I've seen in my life, but also not the most helpful here. I think I just put a Murktide in front of what they're doing, and this will trigger Beanstalk at the very least. Ooh, okay. Force blue card available. Frog is bigger than Murktide, but they forgot to attack last turn. Take the wins where we can get them. Tameo's attacking. That must mean there is a Brainstorm in their hand. Frog's good for 7. I'm going to block Tameo. Okay, Tameo's just dead. That's cool. Maybe that was a diversion attack to get the frog through. I'm going to bust Spellbomb in their end step here if nothing else happens. I don't think they're a deck where this matters. And I would like cards at this point. Another Beanstalk. The frog can't jump anymore. But that's not what it needs to do. This is too many beans. Alright, removal spell. I play a lot of them. My own frog. It's smaller though. It doesn't matter if it's smaller. Does it matter if it's smaller? I could just block. Okay. Daze, Brainstorm, Frog. Don't shuffle. Frog. Playing this pre-combat. I could make Murktide 9/9 right now. That doesn't change anything. I am going to attack. Gotta get this game won somehow. Maybe double block was my out there. I've committed to the chump life. So a second Murktide also makes the first Murktide really big. Fatal Push. Yuck. Well, I'm going to Force of Will that because, well, I could go to 1. They would have to go all the way in. I'm going to force this pitching the other Murktide. Start drawing some cards. Okay, now I'm at 8, where if they clear my frog, they actually do just straight up win. But clearing my frog would take a card. Dark Ritual, spooky. Can they win with Doomsday here? Well, resolves. I still have Daze. And unless they just drew it, I don't think they have a land. I can block their frog. And Doomsday makes Murktide lethal. And I'll have 5 cards in hand if they don't attack. If they attack, I block and clap back for 6. If they don't attack, I attack with 2 6-power creatures. Oh, one of them's even bigger because I can eat stuff. I have a 9-10 power creature and a 6-power creature. Doomsday's a wiggly deck, though. If any deck could solve it, it's this one. Let's just have a look. Tameo, Frog. These were already exiled earlier, and Consider does mess up some of their piles. They only play one of those, and it's not in the deck right now. Cavern of Souls is out. Frogs, Thoughtseizes, Fatal Push. Okay. Cycling Street Wraith. This might pick up Fatal Push, and they try to get the win right now. I will Daze if they play Fatal Push. Wraith. They're at 2. Brainstorm. I think this is the Daze. They could have picked up a counterspell in their Doomsday pile. If they put a Daze in their pile, that actually goes +1 mana to interact with this. Oh wow, that was a good counter. Yeah, the pile is probably like Oracle, Cavern, Lotus Petal. Wow. Wow, what a game. That was crazy. I think opponent bit off a little more than they needed to. I mean, they can't see my hand, and it's probably scary facing down that many cards, going all in on a frog, but I think if they just kept smushing with frog, they were in a better position. All right, Veil of Summer is great against most of the cards in their deck. Bowmaster is nice. Consigned to Memory is nice. Witherbloom Command is really funny versus Doomsday because if they make a pass pile and you mill them for 3, that could mess them up. I like Carpet. Nile Spellbomb, not actually for this matchup, it turns out. Wasteland is fine. Edict's good. Thoughtseize is great. Strix is fine. I'm really low on Daze, just in general. This feels like too many in the list. Pokemoki's probably right. He's done more work than me, but a year ago, people were, air quotes, innovating the perfect 2 days list into being a 4 days list. Like, they knew anything, but they didn't. And I think those were wrong at the time. 3 might be right now because you have to win the frog fights. 4 is too many Beanstalks. That gets a Daze back in. I'm not bringing in Nullrod for their 2 Lotus Petals, or what, 3 or 4, however many Lotus Petals they play. It's not enough for that. Are there worse cards to cut than Daze? Because they are also a Frog Tameo deck, I want my spot removal in. And there will be games you lose because your hand is 3 Fatal Pushes and they go Dark Ritual Doomsday. But there will also be games you lose because they have Frog and your hand is a bunch of Consigned to Memories. You gotta find balance. I'll keep this hand. It rules. Thoughtseize. Ouch. Alright, that resolves. Do they want the Force, the Ponder, or the Carpet? That will depend on what kind of game they're trying to play here. Yep, Carpet. I thought that might be the case. Oh boy. What a draw. Do I want Bayou here? The only green card in my hand is Witherbloom Command. It doesn't cast Murktide. I think I'm just going to ignore Witherbloom Command and get an Underground Sea. Ka-chow. Get you right back. Dark Ritual Fatal Push. Wow, their hand is wild. Dark Ritual Fatal Push, Cavern of Souls, Murktide region. I'm going to take the Murktide because Cavern Murktide is actually a line that I'm not well suited to. But my Murktide is ready to ranch here. They have nothing for it. Okay. I could Ponder here. I could just Witherbloom Command, fill my graveyard for Murktide. I think I'm going to do that. All right, I mill 3, you lose 2. Black-green. They know both of the cards I've drawn this game because I've cast them both. Or played Bayou. You don't cast Bayous. My 1 of Tropical Island just got milled. Do I need that? I will take it. That milled over a Psychic Frog as well. We'll probably see the Sewer here. There it is. Dumped a Daze. Okay. Psychic Frog. How do I want to engage with this? I guess I'll just force it. That makes Murktide bigger and clears the way. If the unknown card in their hand right now is Daze or Doomsday, we're in trouble. I guess we're not even in trouble to Daze. It's just a race if it's Daze. I'd like to draw something like Consigned to Memory or Veil of Summer. Murderous Cut, not what I was looking for, but it's fine. I'm just going to make the biggest Murktide I'm capable of. And pass the turn. They can't make a pass pile because they die. I know 3 other cards in hand. I'm ready for their next creature. Oh yeah, Veil of Summer. Let's go. Murktide is unlikely to die now. They're going to have to make a no pass pile. Like Dark Ritual Doomsday win is what they have to do here. And they have to go all the way empty because I can cut the Oracle. Cool. All right. Nice little dismantling of Doomsday there. On to the final round. The BoshNRoll channel is proudly partnered with the Resleevables.
Good. All right, here we go, gang.
In this YouTube series, hosts Cedric Phillips and Patrick Sullivan take us on a set-by-set journey through the good, the bad, and the ugly of Magic's history. Each episode is a focused deep dive into the facts about a set's design and release, the Magic lore expressed through the cards in that set, Tournament Edition gameplay videos featuring products and Pro Tour decks of the era, an award show that shouts out the best and weirdest cards of the set, and a final grade for the set's overall success. Whether you want a history lesson or a nostalgia hit, The Resleevables has it at youtube.com/theresleevables. I'm on the draw in the final round. I'm going to keep. It's a 1-lander, but it has Ponder and a bunch of 1 or 0 mana interaction. Tap Sewer from the opponent. They just entombed an Archon. Raw dogged that thing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my god. Well, I'll force that. Do they have the Daze too? Oh my god. the tap sewer for the nuts. That was awesome. This is where I thought season in their hand is 3 more reanimates. All right, give me a chance here. It's another reanimate. Brainstorm, Frog, Ripples. Okay, I have to take the reanimate. Holy smokes, that sewer sent their hand from like kind of mid to completely fudge nasty. Thoughtseize, okay. That's fair. They probably take Beanstalk. That's what I'd take. But I could see a case for Brainstorm if you don't think the game's going to go that long. But I'm excited to cast Beanstalk next turn. There might even be a case for Push if they think this Frog is going to win them the game. I would take Beanstalk. Okay. They're with me. Witherbloom Command. I could drain them for 2 and pick up a land here. I don't hate that. I'm going to get the Tropical Island. You never really want to be draining with Witherbloom Command. That's like a much later thing to be doing. Like you want to do that when they're at like 2, or if you have Murktide Regent tricks that can get the game won quickly. Okay, they have Catacomb. They probably invest in Ripples before Frog because they know I have Fatal Push. Yep. Okay, there's that. This is a cool one. I have played it on the channel, but let's refresh ourselves. At the beginning of your first main phase, mill 3. You may pay 1 and 3 life. If you do, put a card from among those milled cards into your hand. It's kind of a Black Sylvan library that also functions as Entomb. I like Wasteland. Do I want to Brainstorm here? Or just waste them? Wasteland makes it really hard for them to do anything next turn. It's kind of a little time walk, but it's a time walk where they get to mill 3 cards. I am going to Wasteland, and I'll take out the sewer. I don't want them picking that up with Daze and refreshing it. And the card you get has to come from the 3 you milled. Lotus Petal, Ponder, Thoughtseize. Are any of these worth a life and a mana? They do get a draw step as well, so if they drew land here and pick up Thoughtseize, take my Fatal Push, they suddenly have a plan. They picked up Ponder and they do have a land. So they're still looking for action rather than trying to attack my hand. They know 2 of the 3 cards. I don't think they know Polluted Delta. Or did I pick that up off Witherbloom? Yeah, they know my whole hand. Never mind. Ponder shuffled. Okay, Brainstorm. I'd love to find Nile Spellbomb. Force of Will is a nice consolation prize. If I push back Fatal Push Brainstorm, I can shove Murktide and have Force backup. Okay. Okay, big Murktide. I have Force backup right now, which means if they pay 3 life for Ripples of Undeath, they're dead. I know 2 of the 4 cards in their hand right now. And remember Murktide Regent? We've kind of moved away as a society, but this card is a unit. Ponder. Yeah, Archon costs 8, so even if they find Reanimate, they can't pick anything up off Ripples to do it. Ponder, Brainstorm, they're sending it. If they come up with Land Reanimate Daze here, or Land Reanimate Force and keep a blue card back, they will win this game. But otherwise, I feel good. There's a land. Okay. We didn't die right away. Attack with Murktide. I would feel better with Nile Spellbomb in my hand than in play than Force blue card in hand. However, I don't even want to see the 3. You get a look here. I guess if Reanimates you're out, doesn't matter. Okay. Got away with that one. It is a more turbo version of Frog Reanimator. Grafdigger's Cage clearly comes in. We did see Animate Dead, where Consigned to Memory is good. Orcish Bowmasters is a threat I can deploy without tapping out, but I'm not convinced it's not like good. Veil of Summer's got to be good. We saw blue cards and black cards. Don't really want to Witherbloom them. They might have a Barrowgoyf pivot, but I do play removal already. I think we're going to do the cut some Beanstalks in a Daze thing. Carpet of Flowers. They were a blue-black build. Do I want Carpet in? I'm a little gun shy because of how turbo they were. They could also have a Show and Tell juke. That's something that is possible out of more dedicated Reanimator shells, but all the cards that would be good against Show and Tell are already in my deck. That doesn't change anything. I don't think they're going to attack my mana. I'm not going to bring in Carpet, and I'm just going to bring in these 3. 1 lander, no particular graveyard interaction, no counterspell. Pretty slow. I mean, it does have Ponder. I do like Ponder. If they take it slow, I might have time to set something up. I think I have to mulligan, though. Okay. Thoughtseize and Daze are enough for me to keep a hand. I'm going to bottom Hedge Maze. Island Ponder. Look at my opponent. Honest gaming with their dishonest deck. I just have to get Underground Sea here and ignore the Up the Beanstalk for a little while, because I want to both Thoughtseize and Daze on this turn cycle. Reanimate, Pithing Needle, Ponder. Okay. I'm going to take Ponder. What does this hand even do? Nothing. Okay. If they just start Pithing Needling like Misty Rainforest and stuff, that's sick. Did they float a Psychic Frog on top of the deck? They did. The Reanimates will bring that back, but not right away. Ponder. Tameo. This is not what I want. Shuffle. Deck full of removal. Let's find some. I found both Beanstalks I left in. Or did I cut one? Nope. I cut two. All right. They're both here. Interesting they didn't Pithing Needle Fairy Macabre first. What is this in the deck for, if not Fairy Macabre? It's in the deck to discard a Psychic Frog, and unfortunately, that's a reasonable thing to be doing right now. Ponder, please find a removal spell. Nope. Shuffle. Verdant Catacombs. That can find the Hedge Maze and help dig me out of this. We are whiffing hard, though. I clearly don't have a removal spell or a counterspell, and they can use that information however they like. Do not shuffle Ponder after a very long tank about it. If Ponder found a monster, they can just discard it to Frog and reanimate it right away. There's a land. There's two unknowns in the hand right now. Pithing Needle, have to fetch in response. Hedge Maze. Mystic Sanctuary, not helpful. Okay, what are you naming with this needle? Is it for Fairy Macabre? Is it for Wasteland? What are we doing here? Fairy Macabre, okay, confirmed. Got a couple of looks here at a Fatal Push. Brainstorm. My goodness. It's never happening. I'll put back Swamp and one of the many Beanstalks. And I'll park Baleful Strix in front of this Frog and hope that they don't have a monster to reanimate. I'm at a point where Frog is just killing me, so like I could have brainstormed looking for a Fatal Push or a Nile Spellbomb instead of casting the Strix. But I need to deal with what's in front of me. If they reanimate me, that's probably just going to happen anyway. Accept my fate and go to game 3. Discarded Atraxa. It's basically over here. Alright, I just want to see 10 more cards out of their deck and then I'll concede. I guess I have Baleful Strix in play. That could trade off with Atraxa. I'll play it out. Let's stress test this thing. I play Murderous Cut. There's a Strix in play. They're fetching in response to Atraxa's trigger. Force of Will, Ancient Tomb, Show and Tell, Told Ya, Confirmed, and Thoughtseize. Okay. I mean, it's protection, but they can't take Force Blue card and Thoughtseize. It's Thoughtseize Force or Thoughtseize Brainstorm, probably. Thoughtseize Brainstorm Catacomb. Okay. All right, here's the Thoughtseize. Take a look at all my different cards that see different cards. I know 3 of their 4 cards right now. Or no, they played the Catacombs. I know 2 of their 4 cards, but they could change them at any time with Brainstorm. And no attack with Frog. Veil of Summer. Not bad. Okay, I'm going to Brainstorm. Looking for Murderous Cut. Yikes. Okay. Well, that wasn't Murderous Cut. I'll fetch for Tropical Island. Brainstorm again. Still looking for Murderous Cut. Found Fatal Push. Okay. You're saying there's a chance. I am going to pass the turn, and I will try to push the Frog and block Atraxa. They'll both end up in the graveyard, where this Reanimator deck can still use them just fine. But this is kind of exciting. I'm going to let them go all the way in on this Brainstorm, too. I could just push up front, but if they play a Thoughtseize, then I get to catch that on the Veil, too. I have to imagine this Pithing Needle's not in the hand anymore. I'm going to play like it's gone. Everything's attacking. Block Atraxa. Push Frog. Please Force of Will. But then stop interacting. We just saw them put 3 Force of Wills to the bottom without shuffling in between. Okay. It all worked. They're back to 14. They just reanimate again and Atraxa's back. Frog. That's not reanimate. And I'm drawing Murktide here. Okay. Wasteland you. And big Murktide. Force of Will. They did have it. But look what I got. Oh no. What's happening? This is just emergency. Dig. Dumped another Force. Okay. Well, they got 2 cards in hand. If they have a reanimate, Atraxa is between Murktide and me. I'm drawing Wild starting next turn. Another Frog. This is winnable. Removal spell? Alright, Ponder. Show me the goods. Or Brainstorm, whoever you are. Oh, Ponder's here too. Okay, I don't think wasting them is gonna meaningfully change the outcome of this game. Do I need Bayou anymore? Sure. It's just another dual land. Ponder. Shieldred's Edict. Daze Force of Will. Do I want to go all in on this Edict? I think I do. I'm going to put 8 damage at you. If they chump with a frog, that's great. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. I'm just going to hit them with this now. Maybe I'm supposed to wait till they attack so they know they don't have a chump. They're just going for the big swing here, trying to find the reanimate. But reanimate is off. It has to be animate dead. Or a removal spell, or some other thing. They could have chumped with frog here and chose to draw a card instead. Alright, they do have the animate dead. Do I still have Witherboom Command in my deck? That covers this. I didn't bring in the second one, I do have in the first one. Oh, they found Force Blue card though. That's probably good enough. But we're still playing. They found Force Blue card plus Ripple's Land Frog. Yeah, being able to play an additional frog here is probably gonna do it. This was pretty good back and forth though, considering they had turn 2, turn 3 Atraxa. It was very early. Alright, they're show and telling. I'll put in my Wasteland. Alright, they had Archon as well. Cool. That'll do. Alright. I'm on the play, and they're going fast. I like Daze. Consign is relevant versus Atraxa enters and animate dead. I have Spellbomb, Grafdigger's Cage. I just think Consign is too fringe, and I'm not actually interested in playing it. We have seen the ripples where Witherbloom Command might matter, and for some reason they had many Pithing Needles in their deck. Okay, I don't think I want this Daze. Do I want this Command? I think still no. I'm gonna submit the same deck again. I want an opening hand with Fatal Push and Nile Spellbomb in it. Oh, Pithing Needle turns out Nile Spellbomb. Nope, found a reason. I like this hand. I'll keep it. Hopefully they can't just outmuscle a Thoughtseize. I had a game at MagicCon Vegas in one of the Legacy events where my opponent was on the play, and they played Undercity Sewers tapped and put Archon of Cruelty in their graveyard, and then I Thoughtseize them, and their hand was reanimate, force, some other blue card, and just died through a Thoughtseize to an opponent who had not cast any spells yet. Let's hope that doesn't happen here. And they milled a 5. Okay. That's good for my Thoughtseize. Let me Thoughtseize, yeah. Thoughtseize, reanimate Psychic Frog. I'm going to take their Thoughtseize. Ponder. I am ready to get through 2 Psychic Frogs this game. What they did to me last game is I could answer 1 frog, but they had up to 3 with the 2 reanimates in their hand. But I am ready to answer 2. They did not shuffle Ponder. Tropical Island, fetch land. All right, I'll play my fetch land and pass. Here's a land that is an expected thing they would keep off Ponder. Frog resolves. I'm going to wait to the end step to push it just in case they go Lotus Petal reanimate. At least let me breathe for a turn. And I'd rather keep this fetch land for a shuffle. Ooh, nice. Than use it for Hedge Maze here. Brainstorm, get a Planeswalker right away. Yo! Okay. All good stuff. Put back Bayou and Wasteland. I think all these interactive cards are better than wasting them, even though they are playing on 2 lands, and I recognize it, and I could take them off black entirely, but you gotta make sacrifices sometimes. I think this covers the most problems. They'll probably just fire the reanimate to get my Nile Spellbomb off the table, when I can't draw a card, unless they have Pithing Needle to lead on. And I am just gonna do this. I could let that resolve, cut the frog, still have a card off Spellbomb, but countering the reanimate's already a card. Let's ponder. Shuffle the library. I'll see what I draw, but I'm very likely to Thoughtseize them this turn. Yeah, I'm going to pick up Thoughtseize. I'm going to do that first. I want to know what you're doing over there. Archon, Frog, Entomb. All right, I'll take the Frog. Archon and Entomb are not things that I care about specifically. I'm going to float the Spellbomb in, and I'll leave up the card draw. They would have to draw land and show and tell before this Archon's a problem. Ripples, that's pretty good. Okay. Looking for Witherbloom command now. Ponder. Psychic Frog up the Beanstalk. Yeah, I'll take a frog. Don't shuffle. Plus Tameo. Do I want up the Beanstalk? I don't think so. I guess I could have fetched Bayou later. I'm trying to leave up black and cast Psychic Frog here. Alright, I'll get Bayou. Okay, moment of truth. How good is this Ripples? Ripples does cost mana to get the card, which means it'll be really hard for them to get land and show and tell into their hand here in a spot where they could cast it. They are taking something back. Probably the Ponder. And there's no window to bomb them here. You could bomb them before they ripple or after they ripple, but there's not a spot where they've milled the cards but haven't picked it up yet. Okay. They got Reanimate. Targeting Frog. I think this is a spot where I use the Murderous Cut. The Murderous Cut also answers Archon out of the hand, but Entomb becomes really fucked up. Alright. You can have a frog. I'll just cut it. I know their whole hand right now. I could cut with impunity here. And off we go. Brainstorm, attack with frog. I'm looking for answers to show and tell now. That's a soft answer to show and tell. Do I brainstorm? I don't think so. I'm going to wasteland. And I'll pass. Next turn, I can Tameo pick up Thoughtseize. Well, they can have a Thoughtseize here too. That's a lot of mana though. Or a lot of life. They took back the Ancient Tomb. Well, they could show and tell me here. That would be shitty. Ancient Tomb is a good solution to what I was talking about. Verdant Catacombs does not get Mystic Sanctuary. An attack with Frog. Fatal Push. I'm going to get back Thoughtseize and Thoughtseize them. I'm probably going to take the Archon, which is unconventional, but I have Nile Spellbomb in play, and I'm worried about getting Show and Told. I'm going to brainstorm here. This Fatal Push seems mid. Oh, that Wasteland seems great. I put back Catacomb, Fatal Push. Waste this Ancient Tomb they just invested in. Frog Gaming, let's go. Let's see if Ripples of Undeath can dig them out of this. It's been a very cool card so far. They are paying. Probably have to get the land back. Yep, got back Polluted Delta. If they play Pithing Needle, I'll just bomb in response. Psychic Frog. My top card is Fatal Push. I could daze this, but I don't have to. It's a miracle. Fatal Push that thing. Keep the beats coming. This is the land. Plus Tameo. I think I want to keep the land back. Though I could force plus daze. Alright. I'm gonna play out the land because it is land number 5 for force. Or if Spellbomb draws a card, then I can use that. I have lethal represented. I'll have 3 cards in my hand when I draw, and then Tameo and Spellbomb both represent cards. I think Hedge Maze is still in the deck. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Opponents at 4. Grafdigger's Cage. Seems like a good insurance policy. What's the best way to make sure Frog is lethal here? If I discard the Tameo card, the Spellbomb card, and Grafdigger's Cage, I still have force backup. Okay, I'm going to bomb them and draw a card. I'm just going to go for the win here. Veil of Summer makes this basically can't lose, I think. And I'll grab Brainstorm. Attack. Discard Grafdigger's Cage, Daze, and Brainstorm. Or Grafdigger's Cage, Force, and Brainstorm. And I think the Veil is going to do what I need to do here. Alright, that got a little weird. Okay. Did we win? Yeah! Okay, sweet. A 4-1 record, losing only to Esper mid-range. All of the games were really interesting. Some of the games were pretty far behind and able to catch back up, which is what I want. We played against a good spread of fair and combo, which got to feature all the different modes of the deck. I like that. Tameo was a rock star. I might just be into Tameo for Eternal Weekend. I don't know what the shell is yet, but I'm in. The numbers felt really good. 3 might be too many days. I consider the 3rd days a flex out. I'll talk to Pokemoki before I mess with his baby, but I think that could just be some other higher impact card for the metagame. 3 Wasteland felt right. 1 Surveil Land felt right. Mystic Sanctuary was good. The list is weird on paper, but as we've seen, it works. This is definitely one of my top 3 choices for Eternal Weekend. Sub to my Patreon if you want to see what I'm playing before Eternal Weekend. I always post my list before tournaments there. This was a long league and my brain is tired. I'm going to leave it here. John, thanks for the opportunity to play this. Pokemoki, thanks for your continued work on dope lists and Legacy. Everyone, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, check out the Patreon. I'll see you next time.